Ladies and gentlemen, Kim here. Welcome to the Daily Update. Hope you guys had a good day trading today. I am back. Good to be back here. I was gone about a week or so. Last time when I was gone, I believe it was right here. I came back to this video. We're here. So while I was gone, market practically did absolutely nothing. And there were obviously some up and down moves here, but you can see not a whole lot happened while I was gone. We're just pretty much at the same level the day I left, right? And so keep in mind, I want to continue to enforce this, that I want you to continue to kind of stick with the long-term outlook. Do not let the short-term volatility get to you. It's gonna have its fluctuations in the short term. It's given. It's the market volatility. You signed up for this when you started investing and trading in this market. Anyhow, S&P is down 1% today. NASDAQ did get hit harder today, 2.5% negative there. Semiconductor down almost 5%. Well, semiconductor's been really on a tear. Seriously, like semiconductors up like what, 150, 160% since the COVID lows. And even when other indices were coming down, semiconductor continued to be, it's been staying up, propping up with the minimal pullbacks. Today, we did see much harder hit on semiconductor there. Dow pretty much flat. Small caps also did get hit, 2.5% negative. Banks is flat, energy flat, transport pretty much flat. We got, biotech, emerging market down about 2% there. Grayscale Bitcoin is down almost 6%. I did notice that Ethereum's been on a tear, flying, but Grayscale Bitcoin, the Bitcoin hasn't been making a move there. Gold, silver, and the miners slightly green, slightly red there. Oil's flat, dollar's flat, treasury bond is down about 1%. VIX did see that uptick there, up 17% today with the down move that we saw on the equities. So stick with the Spider S&P ETF 65-minute chart here. So looking at the overall sentiment of this chart here, just going back to maybe the 16th of April. So looking at maybe a 1 month, almost 1 month of price action, we have to understand the fact that we're still in the short to midterm uptrend cultivation phase, right? We got these higher highs and then we got these higher lows here. And just looking at things in the short to micro term, just looking at that here, we have to understand that that's a low, that's a higher low, that's high, that's higher high. That means we have good probability here. We're pulling back to cultivate yet another higher low. Somebody asked me on Twitter that if I've adjusted my moving average. I did adjust my moving average. This is a 55 EMA setting at low. I believe this is 125 EMA. So you can see that last couple times we did see this drawdown here back in April 20th and then the 22nd. And then we talked about this. This was, when we're talking about, when we're analyzing this market back in April, late April there, right? So we're kind of near that level, right? This is a prior resistance, potentially acting as a new support level. We do see that short-term moving average hanging around there. So we got the short-term, got the second short-term here. So a little bit of resume there, a little bit of whipsawing action here though. So I'm interested to see how this market is going to behave in this vicinity. Again, prior resistance, potentially as new support. My first short-term moving average, I'll do a little bit of Fibonacci analysis also. So we basically looking at the peak and the valley there, the lows. And you can see that we're kind of trading right on that level. So we can see that my 50% retracement level, which is 417, the 50% is telling that that's an important level. It's interesting because we can see that my short-term moving average is hanging around in that vicinity. And not to mention, we do have that prior resistance as a potentially new support. We don't know it as of today. So let's put a line there. just to remind ourselves that this is important level, 417-ish level. So let's see if we can see that continuation. We got the higher lows, higher highs. We can even probably put up some kind of a uptrend support here like this, right? So we can adjust a little bit depending on how this market moves, right? You know, we can connect. Let's just give it a little bit of wiggle room here. Actually, let's connect through that wick to this wick right here, right? So this wick, that wick, higher, low. So you can see that we got all this, basically all the technical, you know, levels is pointing at this level of 417, right? We got the short-term moving average at 417. We got that potential rising uptrend support in the short term pointing at 417. You know, you can see that the pivot, horizontal pivot, right? Prior resistance. This is a potential pivot. We don't know that yet because you know what? Tomorrow we wake up in the morning, market gaps down, trading at 415. All of these levels gonna be nothing. It's gonna mean absolutely nothing if we see the market gaps down tomorrow, or if we see a long bearish candle. However, it would mean something during the first hour. You see this long bearish candle, but by the time the first hour ended, you see long lower wick, and then you see a green small candle just above that uptrend support and the horizontal pivot above my 50%. And then you see on the second hour the follow through. That means something very significant if we do something like that. So you know what, I do want to give benefit of the doubt. It's been about a week and a half or so since I've said that word, benefit of the doubt. Benefit of the doubt to the buyers in the short term, because we're still in the short term uptrend as of today with the data that is at hand. In the micro term, however, yes, we do see some selling pressure in the micro term. We're talking about just last 2 days of price action. Definitely, we do see that in the micro term, some selling pressure, but we got some support coming up here at 417.39-ish or so. It's tightening up a little bit though, right there. So kind of measures my 50%. You got that short term, the rising support, all that colliding in this vicinity. Let's check out that oscillator, see if we can extract any more information with today's price action. So you can see that. So when I tweeted out earlier this morning, market was kind of doing sideways. It looks like we actually lost that. We actually saw that downturn to the downside. And at that time, when the stock or the price was moving sideways for the first 2 hours, or 2-3 hours this morning, this was when the oscillator was actually crossed, and you can see that it's further coming down here. I think another problem that we're seeing is bulls are not pushing it all the way up to the top of its band. We're kind of prematurely coming down here, right? And I think it's good if we can press it all to the 99-ish level, so you can see that we're kind of coming up a little short. And with that, there's some volatility that's been, seeing in the market as of late. So with this oscillator crossing down, right? I mean, we've seen that cross down before, so we can't just say, okay, oscillator's crossed down. You know what, this thing is gonna go back down to the bottom of its band. Well, that didn't happen last time, which was right here, back in April 22nd. Keep in mind that short-term moving average was able to scoop it up, and then you can see that oscillator did find support, and you can see that we did cross back up, and market did make a move for another week or so. You can see that, 1, 2, 3, 4, yeah, about a week. We did see that little bit of upturn there. So we may see something like that if we do find support in this level where all these technicals are colliding right now. Obviously, if you're a bear, you want to see some heavy selling. You want to break below it, and obviously you want to get back down to 411, 412, cultivate lower high, lower low. That's what bears want to do, lower high, lower lows. We don't have that yet, so a lot of work needs to be done. If you're a bear, you want to see some sort of a bear, short-term bearish trend, right? We have to, when we do our analysis, you always do your analysis based on the data that is that you can see. You don't just go and say, well, we're gonna see something. Trust me, Kay, this thing is gonna go down, man. It's gonna crash down. We're gonna go to 380. How many times people been saying that since, I don't know, 250, 270? So you always wanna do your analysis based on a price that you can see. Things can change tomorrow. I mean, obviously sentiment can definitely change tomorrow. We'll deal with that if it changes tomorrow, but for now, let's see how this market behaves in this vicinity. I'll come back for you. We'll re-examine. You guys enjoy your evening and good luck trading tomorrow.